What up, what up, what up, my Bed and Astrology listeners? This is ASTRODIM here, and I got a couple of questions for you. Want to share your opinions, give feedback, or tell me what you're thinking? Well, send me a voice message. Voice messages are an easy way for you to send me audio that might end up in a future episode of my Bed and Astrology. They're the latest feature from Anchor, the platform I use to make this podcast. So here are some things I'd love to hear from you. Questions you have for me, what you thought of this episode, what you think of spirituality and astrology and any form of divination, who you think I should interview next, what you think I should talk about next. You can even make a theme song for me, featuring me, because I'm a musician myself. You can even do your best impressions of me. I'll be cool with that too. Just send me anything, jokes, whatever. And the cool thing is, I'll see all of your messages and might add them into a future episode. Anchor makes it super duper easy. So, it's cool. And so I definitely suggest you guys to, if you're not listening through Anchor, listen through Anchor just for the simple fact of sending me voice messages, because it'll be nice and easy and, cool, But regardless, I just want to hear from you. And that's the main thing here. I would love to hear from you guys, You can send me a voice message right now from wherever you're listening. Just tap the link in my show notes. I can't wait to hear from you guys. So go on. Record me something. Go ahead, download Anchor, and then send me a voice note. Right now. Go ahead. I'm waiting. All right, bye. Peace, y'all. What's up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM, chilling in my bed, rolling in it and whatever. Because we're on my Bed and Astrology. Hey, bitches. Hey. How you guys doing today? What up? Okay, so I need to get my life in order. Okay, first of all, we're doing renovations in my house, and oh my God, it's preparing for it. We haven't been started. Preparing for it is a toughie. We have to move shit out of these rooms. We have to get the workers. We have to get make sure the dumpster thing's all set and recycling's all set. It's a lot. And so I've been so backed up. I know I've been saying that I'm going to do astro tarot readings. I'm going to start posting more and all that shit. But man, it's been a lot, and it's probably going to be even crazier, but I'm going to truck it through. I'm going to truck it through. And, so yeah, please be patient with me. Okay. And if I'm late with shit, I'm sorry. And I love you. I always love you. And I will always love you. Okay. Just stick with me. But yeah, it's been crazy, very full moonish energy where things are all over the place. But it's all right. It's cool. I'm not mad. Whatever, So yeah, speaking of Astro Tarot, so I decided instead of doing monthly Astro Tarots, it'll still be monthly, but I'm going to base it off of the season. I mean, not the season, excuse me. Technically, the season. But I'm base it off the sign time, the sun sign time. So instead of having a January monthly Astro Tarot reading, a February Astro Tarot monthly reading, I'm going to be a Capricorn season 1, Aquarius season 1, a Pisces season 1. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to start off with Gemini, which is cool because Gemini's in my 4th house and also in my 5th. So it's going to be dope. It's going to be lit. I'm excited, and y'all know how much I love Gemini energy. And it's good to start off in Gemini season, because y'all niggas be hating on Geminis. I know they're crazy, but they're fun, and I love them. Of course, I will feel that way, though, because they're in my 4th and my 5th. They have my heart, and we have fun. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I've been meaning to do this other thing too, which is a secret. I don't want to speak on it, but I'm going to be doing that soon too. I don't know, but ever since like Mars been in 29 degrees Gemini, I've been like hyped the fuck up, dude. And then, guess what too? I just found out that I do have a caffeine sensitivity, but dark roasted coffee is okay with me. I just can't drink light roasted coffee. My brother told me that light roasted coffee actually has more caffeine than dark roasted. I didn't know that. And so, like, of course, I can't drink coffee like every day, but and without getting a little bit anxious, but it's way better. If I was drinking light coffee, like, I would be spazzing out right now, anxious, thinking that everyone's trying to kill me. It's that real. It's that real. The anxiousness is real. It runs my family too, and so it's funny. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, that's my day. I know y'all like, bitch, shut up. I don't care what you're doing. Like, can you please talk about the full moon? I got you. Okay, let's talk about the fucking full moon. Okay. So, this full moon is happening tomorrow, and I usually do mine 3 days before the full moon, so I apologize for being late. I already told you why, but whatever. We're moving past that, okay? The full moon is going to be in Scorpio, 27 degrees Scorpio to be exact. Specifically at, of course, May 18, 2019 at 5:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? And, 27 degrees, that's third decan energy. So the moon's going to be in the third decan of Scorpio. The sun's going to be in the third decan of Taurus. And so with it being in the third decan of Scorpio, the full moon, that's the moon decan, right? And then with Taurus, it's going to be in the Saturn decan. Where the sun's going to be in a Saturn decan. So this gives me mother father type of vibes, you know what I mean? Because Saturn is known as the father in a specific way. It's kind of like, okay, astrology is weird because they have mother father as the moon and sun, which makes sense, right? And I think the sun does represent your father and the influence of your father, but Saturn represents your father too, or any authority figure, and how you see the authority figure. So I think this full moon is going to be like how you see authority and how it empowers you, and also how you see the feminine energy within your life, and how you dealt with that too. You get what I'm saying? So like, it's interesting. I believe the sun, if I'm saying, hopefully I'm remembering this right, the sun represents your father straight up, like just your father and your father's presence. Saturn represents, how you see your actual father, like how you, perceive their father. And then Jupiter represents your father, but your father's philosophies and what they instilled into you. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. Or if they instill energy within you too, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's interesting stuff. Like, even if you use my situation as an example, like my Jupiter is in Aries, right? So you would think like, hey, you have a lot of one-on-one time with your dad, but it's actually my Jupiter's intercepted, and so I didn't really take in my father's philosophies, which makes sense because my parents divorced when I was really young, so my father was far. Like, he was in the other side of the coast, basically, of where I'm from. And so, he couldn't really instill that much philosophies within me, and I couldn't really get that, from him. I got it mostly from my mom. And my mom has definitely more of a prominent energy within my chart because she's in my 7th house. You get what I'm saying? You see how astrology be just telling you shit, motherfucker? God damn. Anyways, let's continue. Third decan reminds me of the more advanced, more understanding, more like worldly even energy of your sign. Of course, first decan is, kind of like the purest energy. I feel like second decan is like you got some experience, you're moving above it, progressing. Third decan is the more advanced energy, and that's why 29 degrees is so critical, because you're learning the last bit of the sign. Just see each degree as a lesson. You know what I mean? And at the 29 degrees, you're learning about the last bit of the sign until you progress into the other one. And then, of course, 0 degrees is critical as well, because you progressed into a new chapter, a new aspect of your life, and you're brand new with it. You know what I mean? But anyways, with this moon, it's really interesting because, like, we are emotionally connecting to, like, things that are, like, deep as fuck. You know what I mean? That are intense. We're thinking about things that we haven't really thought before because we buried them. You know what I mean? We sort of even repress them. So it's interesting times. But let me just explain what full moon is generally, just in case we got some new listeners here, so you guys can understand it. So in an astronomical sense, the full moon is literally sun's on one side, moon's on the other. So we get the full view of the moon, blah, 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 right? That's basically what's happening there. In the astrological sense, same situation. Moon's on the one side, the sun's on the other. We can see the full spectrum or the full face of the moon. But like the thing is that the moon represents your internal emotion, your feelings, right? What you feel deep inside. While the sun represents, how you react to things, your identity, your self-expression, and they're opposite. You know what I mean? Because in a chart, when you see a full moon energy, they're in opposite signs, because in the Earth's perspective, they're in opposite parts of the sky. You get what I'm saying? And so, excuse me. And so, what's happening here is that you have your moon in Scorpio, or your internal energy in Scorpio vibe, and you have your external energy in Taurus vibe. And so inside, with this particular moon, you're wanting a transformation. You want to control the transformation, but still transformation is wanted. You're wanting a transformation. So you're going deeper into, like, intimate and confidential and secret information to develop that transformation, to find the meaning of that transformation. We are wanting intimacy as well in its many forms. Intimacy is not always romantic. You know what I mean? So emotionally, you want to be intimate. It could be a romantic way, but you could want it in a platonic way. You could want to be financially intimate with someone in which you're, like, sharing money with a motherfucker, or, like, working together to build in a financial sense. You know what I mean? But you kind of, the vibe of this is like, inside, you really want to come together with someone and build with them. Whether the building that you're doing is financial, emotional, romantic, whatever, but you want to come with someone, build with them, and transform with the person. That's what you want deep down inside. You get what I'm saying? That's what you're looking for. But we're in Taurus season. And so Taurus season is kind of making the conscious collective focus a little bit more on self, your self-worth, your material worth, the money that you make, how you feel about yourself, self-confidence, self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like, you're focusing on yourself. And so you're conflicted because, you want to join what everyone else is doing, what the collective is doing, by focusing on self, because it's in Taurus season. That's how we are expressing ourselves right now, right? But deep down inside, you want to share this with someone. You want to work this with someone. And that's where the conflict is. And usually during full moons, because of that conflict, that's why people act like, quote unquote, lunatics. That's why people are very conflicted and they lash out, because they are feeling one thing inside, but reacting another way outside. And so, and this is so funny because the whole collective is acting like this. We're doing the same exact thing, but we're not even realizing we're doing the same exact thing while we're living every day. So it's just like, it's funny. It's weird. You know what I mean? And what's happening too is, like, I can definitely see someone being like, really like, oh, I'm all about making my money. I'm all about doing what I gotta do. But deep down inside, they're like, damn, I want to share this with someone. Damn, I want to build this with someone. Damn, it would be so dope if we can do this. I really want to be intimate with this person. But, the sun is pushing the collective to focus on self, which is, a good thing. And I think we can eventually build up to, that Scorpio energy when it's Scorpio new moon season, right? But, you always need to make sure you're good before you, build with somebody else. I always say this quote to people when it comes to Taurus Scorpio energy is that you are as strong as your weakest link. You have to make sure you build up so much and be as powerful as you can be. So, when you do kind of collab with somebody in any way or any fashion, that the weakest link and within that collaboration between you two it doesn't really even matter because y'all are both that strong and that dope. You know what I mean? And so you have to this energy is telling you, the sun is telling you actually, you have to build yourself up before you get to the thing that you've been desiring, that you've been wanting. So what's really important, in an astrological sense and energetic sense, is that the moon is all about releasing, right? And so we shouldn't release the dreams of coming together, being transformative, and having a sense of intimacy and allowing yourself to be emotionally vulnerable. We shouldn't give up that, but we should give up the need, that the feeling that we need that at this moment. Everything's should come at will come at a divine time. Right now, it's not that time. You get what I'm saying? Right now, it's not that time for you to be intimate with somebody in whatever way you want to be intimate with the person. You get what I'm saying? This is a time for us to be stable and secure, and we need to find stability and security within ourselves before we can transform with someone else. Yes, I love that one. That was a channeling right there. That was dope. Anyway, that was a channeling right there. That wasn't me. I don't know who said that. Oh, wow, that was deep. So yeah, that's what's going on here. That's what's going on with this moon. Now, again, with this decan, if this is decan, it's getting personal. You know what I mean? This decan's getting really personal because, with the moon being in, the moon being in the moon decant, we're going to be really in our feelings, in the sense of we're going to directly feel the effects of the Scorpio moon. It's not going to be some psychic shit where we're with somebody and we can read their minds and we're intuitive with each other in a close fashion. I mean, it can be because it is a Scorpio moon technically, but still, it's going to be us directly feeling shit more than anything, right? And it's not going to be more an empathic type of thing. This is going to be really us feeling directly, very clear, sentient type of energy here. And so if when we're releasing the whole idea of needing transformation, needing to discover secrets of someone else, or needing even your obsession of divination, any obsessions that we have when it comes to energies coming together. Once we really release that, we can really start focusing on what the sun energy is all about, which is to be focus on self. Now the thing is, I know a lot of people are thinking well, shit, Taurus season's almost done. That is true, but the thing is that we can still reflect on Taurus season, so we can learn from what we've been through during Taurus season once we release this Scorpio moon energy. Do you get what I'm saying? And so all this time that I've been dealing with self-worth, I should be focusing on shared worth instead. No, release that whole idea that I need to have shared worth, I need to come together with someone. And then when you finally do release it, when you do your full moon intentions, you can then reflect on Taurus season in general to see okay, I was doing this, I should continue to do this. I was doing that, I should stop doing that, when it comes to building your own self. You get what I'm saying? So just because, by the time, the full moon energy is done, it's going to be Gemini season. You still can benefit and learn from Taurus season when it comes to your self-worth, when it comes to money, when it comes to material worth, okay? So definitely keep that in mind too. But yeah, like, I feel like with this full moon though, since it's in the moon decade, we could be reflecting and releasing emotional connectivity to things that happened to us as a child, to things that happened to us at our home, to issues that we are holding on to when it comes to our home, our family, our ancestry, our mother, stuff like that, right? We're learning to let go of those obsessions that we have when it comes to needing to be with somebody, so we can really focus on self. And then, when this time in this Scorpio new moon, we can then manifest to have a healthier intimacy, a healthier transformation, a cleaner transformation. So it can be less dramatic and shit. You know what I mean? With the sun being in the Saturn decade, this is time for us to claim our own authority. This is time for us to really control our worth, control our confidence, control our self-esteem. It's in our hands. Literally, third decan Taurus is screaming, this shit is in our hands. And the sun's in there. The sun always shines bright on what we need to focus on. And so we really need to focus on having more authority over our self-worth and material worth. And in order to do that, we need to let go of the emotional connections we have, or the emotional obsessions and possessiveness that we have when it comes to intimacy and transformation. All right, I'm giving a word today, y'all. I feel like I'm channeling stuff. It's really cool. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the aspects, okay? And you know what's funny? I always talk about aspect patterns and shit. There's no aspect pattern for this full moon. Ain't that crazy? You would think there would be, but there isn't. It's wild, yo. Yeah, because when you think about it, there's nothing in Leo, nothing in Aquarius, so there can't be a T-square. There's always a fucking T-square with full moons, but not in this one. So yeah, there's no aspect patterns, but there are aspects, so I'm going to be talking about that. And then, of course, I'm going to cut it short for the public folk, and then I'm going to speak more on this full moon because it is conjunct some fixed stars that's going to make it crazy. Okay? Because, what's funny? A lot of people have been having an obsession with algal. And the sun is conjunct algal during this full moon. And I'm definitely going to be talking about that. And it's going to be dope as fuck. Oh my God. It's going to be so cool. And I'm excited to talk about it. And that's going to be for my patrons though. So if you're interested in being a patron for my Patreon, go to patreon.com/AstroDim. The cheapest monthly tier is $2 a month, y'all. $2 a month. So cheap. And you get a wealth of info, and you have a community, and we talk to each other live monthly, so you can talk to me directly, see my face or whatever. So just, if you're interested, I'm just saying, go ahead and go for it. My community's dope. I have a blast with them. I'm close with them. All the people that are patrons at my Patreon, I follow them directly. We're friends. We're legit friends. So if you want to be my friend, nigga, holla at me, okay? All right, so let's talk about these aspects that are happening. And so, excuse me. Sun is conjunct Mercury, and the moon is opposite Mercury, which is really, really interesting here. With the moon opposite Mercury, this is so connected to what I was just saying before, with moon opposite sun, honestly, that of course, with this full moon, we are expressing ourselves in one way, being about self-worth and material worth and all that. But inside, we want to focus on like the darker side of things, not in a negative way, but the deeper side of things. We will have this yearning of intimacy and being together with someone and connecting with someone, right? And that's very much true, but that, this is even like brought into a different level in the sense of, even our thoughts are connected to our self-expression and not to our emotions. And so at this time, we can feel that our emotions are being neglected, even though we're the ones that is neglecting them. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like our mind is focusing on self-worth, material worth too. And so, you're not addressing the deep emotions that you're feeling and that releasing that you need to handle, which is going to make you even more irritated, especially because this energy, again, this is a Scorpio moon. So Scorpio moons really unearth shit and bring light to shit. You know what I mean? And because the sun is not in Scorpio, it's the moon that's in Scorpio. You're not going to bring light into the things you need to release, right? And which could be a good thing because we do need to focus more on the Taurus energy, but it could be a bad thing because at the same time, these emotions are being ignored and not released appropriately. And so, and when I say feelings, I'm talking about these obsessions, these jealousies that are like controlling us and stopping us from being, from working on our worth. You know what I mean? And so when our mind's focused on material worth and our self-worth and our confidence and stuff, as well as like the actions that we're taking is focused on that too, and while we're deep down inside yearning to be with somebody, we can be, it can be just a lot of fronting happening here. You're fronting like you're okay, you can do all bad by yourself, but you don't want to. So it's really, really interesting. So what I can see here is that, we're going to be talking the talk, but we're not going to be feeling that talk necessarily. And it could be to a point too, where we don't even agree, with, not agree, but like our emotions and our logic are just two different spectrums. You know what I mean? And so, you may be feeling certain things, ignoring it, and trying to continue to be that stable person, that secure person to the outside world, while deep down inside you're struggling. So definitely, deep down inside, you're not only just struggling, but you're wanting transformation while you're speaking that you want stability and security. So when you're like kind of off like that, it's really important for us to definitely do full moon intentions, or just intentions in general, even if you're feeling like this when it's not the full moon, excuse me, my allergies are acting up, y'all. To release the emotions that we're having inside, that's stopping us, or that is contradicting our self-expression, that's contradicting our identity, that's contradiction how we're reacting to things. So with this energy, I see a lot of fronting. I see, I know people with this energy too. You feel, you have all these emotions and feelings and intuition inside, but you want to seem like a tough guy. It's okay if you're not a tough guy. It's all right. But this is definitely saying, this placement is saying that, logically, you feel like it's best to, be stable and secure and not focus on the need that you want for transformation. And you're right, but you still need to address how you're feeling. You get what I'm saying? You still need to address how you're feeling. And that's what I see from there, you really, in your everyday life, you want stability and security. You want to speak it into existence. All you think about is stability and security and money and material things. But inside, you just want a huge change. You're bored. But you need to address those emotions regardless. Okay? All right. So next aspect is that the moon is sextile Saturn, and the sun is trine Saturn, and Saturn is retrograde right now too, so it's really interesting. With the moon sextile Saturn, Saturn being retrograde right now, we're really reflecting on the authority that we have of our status, of our reputation, of our career, of our authority. You know what I mean? We're trying to reflect on how we have control of ourselves and how we are seen and what we want to do in our legacy. You get what I'm saying? And you're emotionally, you kind of feel like, hey, well, maybe I do need to connect with people to get to where I want to be. And you're actually reflecting on times in which you partner up with someone that you trusted and it worked out in your favor. And you got the authority and control over your life that you've been searching for, that you've been wanting, and you're saying like, maybe I need to do that. The thing is, though, is that like naturally you know that with, Saturn trine the sun, that naturally when you work on yourself, you can build yourself up. And yes, it's sometimes you need other people to come along and lift you up too, but that, hey, when I work on my self-worth, and it will return by me having a great material worth and great status and great career. And so honestly, with this energy, you're truly reflecting on how to gain that authority and control over your life. And naturally you're on a vibe of, hey, I need to work on myself to do this, which is not bad. And which, again, it's the season of Taurus. Yeah, you do need to work on your self-worth to build up your authority and control over your life. But at the same time, you do have this obsession like, oh, I need to build myself up so I can connect with this other person. You don't necessarily need to connect with another person as much. I feel like the collective feels like they need to connect with a certain person to get to a certain level. And there's so many stories of people not needing certain people to be successful. And I think that's what the issue is. It's not necessarily that you are not going to connect with that person. You just need to feel that you don't need to connect with that person. You know what I mean? You need to feel that I have options and I'm good enough to get whatever I want. And when you kind of let that need go, things will just come together and you actually connect with that person. When, it's kind of like that chasing type of theory. It's like when you chase something, it runs away from you. When you just chill, it comes to you. It's that type of vibe. And you're learning that through this placement, these aspects. So it's really interesting. But the cool thing about that is, you're learning that, and it's easy. It's not a tough lesson, because of course, it's sextile and trine energy. And so those are, trine energy, you naturally automatically feel that, hey, this is what I feel and I'm naturally doing it. So in this case, you're naturally feeling like, I need to work on myself to gain authority and control. But then you're teetering and you're really thinking and really trying to figure out the need to have someone you trust to build that authority within your life that you've been looking for. You know what I mean? But you're gonna figure out what I said was right. You'll figure it out. But it's a big reflection time, since Saturn is retrograde. Anyways, let's continue. Your moon is also sextile Pluto retrograde, and your sun is trine Pluto retrograde. And so similar energy, Pluto and Saturn, but different, because Pluto definitely have a little bit more emotion to it, a lot of more emotion to it. But Pluto is more about definitely about transformation, but empowerment and control and authority have definitely a connection to it. But you're trying to not only transform the authority and control within your life and transform your status and your reputation. You're trying to be empowered through it, empowered so you can transform that within your life. And again, it's similar to that Saturn energy in which you know that, hey, I need to work on my self-worth so I can be confident and feel that, you know what, I can have this, I can transform my status and reputation, I can transform the authority I have within my life, I can transform this, I can make this difference and do it, you know. And you're actually, with the sun here, you're reacting to that energy. You're taking action to have that transformation within your life, specifically when it comes to the control that you have over your life, specifically when it comes to the status that you're looking for in whatever in your life, you know what I mean? Which is dope. But the thing is too, similar to the aspect that I mentioned before, you know, Pluto is all about intimacy. Pluto is all about, you know, coming together with somebody. And so with the moon being in Scorpio, which is connected to Pluto and intimacy, right? You really feel like in order for you to transform, you need somebody to be there with you. You need to, you know, connect with another person to have that true transformation. And you kind of feel like, I need someone to have power over. And, you know, and so you're teetering on the thought of pairing up with somebody. This energy is basically telling us, honestly, God, this whole ass moon, beyond this aspect, this whole ass moon is telling us, before you connect with someone, you need to work on yourself. And that's what it is. That whole phrase that people say all the time, but you know, you need to love yourself before you can love somebody else. It's kind of like on that vibe. But again, with this energy being sextiling and trining, which honestly, the rest of the aspects that happen to the moon is trining and sextiling. So this is a cool moon, believe it or not. It's an easy lesson. Like, it's gonna come to you easy. It's not going to be as difficult and harsh as like square energy. Like, you're going to learn that, like, yeah, it'll be helpful if I have someone to help me transform my life and help me have more authority over my life, but I don't need them. I just need myself and God. And then the people are going to start coming to you. But you have to believe it within your core, though. That's really, really important. Like, you have to believe that shit in your core. You know what I mean? All right. Sorry if you hear noise in the background, by the way, too. You know how it is. I'm not even going to talk about it no more. You know how it is. All right, let's continue. The moon is trine Neptune. Interesting. Very interesting. And the sun is sextile Neptune, which is interesting. And so this is really interesting because I think that, like, you know, this whole obsession or jealousy or possessiveness that we have over intimacy, over needing someone to help us, to lift us up, to get us out the rut, right? This is a deception, straight up, right? We are being bamboozled almost. And I feel like this moon is like letting us know in a nice, easy way. Like, it's going to be almost like a eureka moment that, you know, you don't need nobody. You need to work on yourself first. And so I feel like, you know, what's going to happen is, like, it's truly going to be like a eureka moment, or you're going to have this dream and you're going to automatically know what the dream means, or you're going to have like something happen in which, you know, is always going to seem magical, that you know that it's, you know, you don't necessarily need to focus on intimacy at this moment, or any form of intimacy at this moment, that you actually need to you know, work on building for yourself, work on yourself on an emotional level and in the material level before you can come together with somebody else. And it's going to be sort of empathic. Like, you're just going to feel it and you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be like that. You're going to feel it and you're going to be like, I get it. Okay. I understand now. So it's almost going to be magical. It's going to be very easy. You're not going to you don't need to try. But with the part that you're going to need to try in this essence is, okay, how do I start working on myself? You know what I mean? I feel like that with this energy, like we know that we need to work on ourselves, but the how part is going to be tricky. And it's, I think, it's not even going to be that tricky, honestly. It's just going to be like, it's going to apply more effort. And so we're going to know empathically what we need to do. But how to do it is going to apply a little bit more effort, but it's not going to be difficult. You know what I mean? And so with Neptune touching the full moon, I really feel like that is, especially with Neptune trine moon, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to signs, pay attention to synchronicities, pay attention to like all those spiritual, emotional shit. Like you have to, and that's going to give you the clue. But then after that, you're going to have to run with that energy and work on self so you can have that intimacy that you've been looking for. You get what I'm saying? So definitely keep that in mind. But we're going to definitely get the clues from universe, from God, from our ancestors, from our guides on what we need to release. So I'm honestly, like, it's going to be mad easy for us to do our new moon intentions in an empathic way. It's going to be almost entrancing. The tricky part, it's not tricky, but the part that we're going to need to apply more effort in is us actually reacting to those full moon intentions and doing what we need to do to gain our self-worth and to build in our self-worth. You know what I mean? That's what I really feel the most. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. The cool thing about it is that we know what's up. We really do know what's up. The moon is trine Chiron and the sun is sextile Chiron. Which is good because I really Chiron's tough. I'm not gonna front. Like, Chiron's tough, so this is good. So, with Chiron being in Aries, we're really thinking back on times in our past in which we've been ridiculed about our personality persona, our appearance, how people perceive us, and how we've been ridiculed and failed when it comes to our motivation and drive, right? At this moment, you're gonna have a eureka moment. Probably, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more on Sunday than anything, that you're gonna have a eureka moment that's gonna be like, you know what, it's okay, like these words are not that, or someone else's words is not that important. I shouldn't allow what someone else thinks about me, no matter how close they are to me, hold me back from doing what I want to do. Okay, again, like, Chiron represents like childhood traumas. And because this is transit, this is like, this is not as dramatic as our natal Chiron placement, but it's like little things in which we felt like people held us back from our motivation and our drive. People held us back from our personality, our true personality and persona and appearance, right? And ridiculed us from it. So that's like, they ridiculed us with this, so it held us back. You know what I mean? The thing is, like, when you think about being ridiculed or being held back, is someone else doing it, and we are allowing them to not only do it, we are allowing them, allowing their words to affect us to this day. With this trine energy, you're letting it go, which is beautiful as fuck. You're letting it go. You're like, whatever, and it's happening so naturally because it's trine. Like, you don't have to apply no effort. It's happening naturally because it's trine. You're finally letting that shit go. Like, yes, this person was close to me. Yes, this person means the world to me. Yes, I probably still love this person, but I'm me. And this is when you think about what I've been saying. This whole freaking reading is kind of like, I'm me. and I can do things myself. You know what I mean? Like I can handle things myself. And I'm not trying, I want to make sure that I'm not saying that you guys don't need anybody else. Like you know, people just like pull themselves up by the bootstraps and handle things on their own by themselves. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that, you know, in order for you to attract the important relationships to elevate you, you need to feel that you're worthy enough to get there by yourself in the first place. You need to feel that you're worthy enough to meet these people. You need to feel that you're worthy enough that even if these people don't come, that I'll fucking figure it out. That's what you need to do. You get what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. And so, this trine Chiron shit, it's gonna be good, because I feel like this is gonna, like, even if there was someone that, like, you know, even if it was like someone that you was like really, really like adored, like it could be even like a parent, a sibling, a lover that you've had, and they held you back, like, you're gonna love them, but be like, I'm doing me still, nigga. You know, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be really nice. Okay. The tricky part, again, it's not as tricky, but the part that applies more effort, that you need to apply more effort in, is, okay, so where do I go from here? You know what I mean? How do I push myself to focus more on myself? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do from here? Like, I know I have all these, like, I have all these desires to go ahead and do what I want, and to be motivated and driven in the things I'm interested in, to be myself. But how do I do that? And you do that through identifying with who you are as a person and deeming yourself worthy. And you're going to find ways on how to do that. So it's cool. It takes some time, it takes some effort, but it's going to be easy going, easy flowing, because again, it's a sextile energy with Chiron sextile the sun, you know. All right, lastly, I've been talking for like 45 minutes. So, yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that long. It's usually that long though, right? Anyways, let's go. Your moon is trine North Node. And your sun is sextile North Node, and then also the moon is sextile South Node, and the sun is trine South Node. All right, this is almost like 2 moon aspects. Well, 4 aspects technically. Anyways, with this energy, honestly, I think that the energy of us feeling that we need to kind of come together with someone to build whatever we want to build in our lives is coming from North Node energy. I think we're mixing up the feeling of or the lesson that we need to kind of learn about nurturing each other, about nurturing ourselves, about getting deeper within our ancestry, with getting closer to our family. We're mixing it up with the need to be intimate and be close, and needing someone to build to get to where you need to get to. You know what I mean? There's a way for us to nurture ourselves, love ourselves, nurture our family, love our family, nurture our ancestry, love our ancestry, with at the same time doing us. You know what I mean? We have to find that balance. And you know, what's interesting here is that, like, honestly, you know, our heart and our emotions are in the right place of getting more in tune with our emotions. But we kind of need to understand that, hey, a part of this North Node lesson is to nurture ourselves. And a part of nurturing ourselves is building our self-worth and building our material worth. and making ourselves realize that we are important and that we are worthy of whatever that we want. It's not necessarily us getting that from somebody else and needing somebody else to, build, to instill this within us, because North Node in Cancer is not just us nurturing others, it's us nurturing ourselves too, because, Cancer is connected to our own emotion, and so this full moon is going to help us with that realization of that, and then after that, because North Node is sextile the Sun, we're going to be thinking about, okay, I need to nurture myself. What do I need to do? And I think this is especially this weekend, we're going to find different ways on how to do a lot of self-care and find different ways on how to love on ourselves. Cancer and Taurus is, the most nurturing of self energy that you can get, but they do it in a different way. Cancer like to emotionally nurture themselves and be comfortable within their home and all that. Taurus energy is be comfortable in their home too, but they're more on building their self-worth through possessions and through money and through luxury comfort. Both love comfort, both love nurturing themselves, you know what I mean? But you're gonna find ways on how to do practical things to that will help you feel nurtured, you know what I mean, in an emotional way. So yeah, cool energy. And then with the South Node energy, I think that at this time we're going to be reflecting naturally on how we nurtured ourselves in the past, including past lives, to build our authority. How we the things that we did practically to build up our authority. We're going to be naturally thinking about that, and we're going to want to find ways on how to switch it from finding our authority, doing practical things to find our authority, to doing practical things to nurture ourselves and our family and our loved ones. You know what I mean? I think we need to start making that switch with that South Node energy. All right. So yeah, interesting shit. Very interesting stuff. And with South Node also sextile the Scorpio, it goes along with what I said about Saturn and Pluto too. It's just reiterating that this goes deep. People who are born at this time, at this very moment, had past life situations that is connected to us having authority and being empowered through our status, our reputation, our career. You know what I mean? And how being at this place or having a specific status affected our emotions, and when it came to intimacy and transformation, and so in our special different ways via our chart, we're experiencing this kind of almost past life regression. And it's not going to be a true past life regression. It's going to be happening in different ways where you're going to feel this is familiar. You know what I mean? So interesting shit for sure. But yeah, this Scorpio full moon is not going to be that bad. There's so many good energies that are happening. So many sextiles and trines, one opposite and conjunct. So this is actually, we're getting into the depths of the things that we need to release over these thoughts of needing that bond, needing that intimacy, needing that transformation. Yes, you can get these things. There's nothing wrong with wanting these things, but you don't need it. And you need to release that feeling of needing it. You know what I mean? Scorpio energy is very emotionally binding. You know what I mean? You need to cut that shit off, man. Don't be so possessive. Don't be so jealous. Don't be so controlling. Relax, relax. That's what the sun in Taurus, that's what it wants us to do. And the sun's going to be in Gemini, and that's going to be even more detached. Like, we need to detach a little bit, we don't need anybody but ourselves and God. Other people help us along the way, and that's beautiful. But just know that you have to feel confident and worthy within yourself in order for you to attract those situations. Okay? So yeah, that's what we're getting to. That, finding the worth within ourselves. That's what's really, really important. So we can attract those intimate bonds that we want, and attract that transformation that we want. All right. So I'm going to cut it off here. Patrons, stick with me, babies. We're going to talk about the fixed stars that are happening, and we're going to actually go through the full moon energy in each house. So I can give you just a little forecast, a personal forecast for you guys. And then if you're not a patron, you should be a patron. And so you can go on patreon.com/AstroDim, support the kid, and you'll be able to get the full version of this, okay? But yeah, so I'm just gonna cut this off here and continue to talk to my patrons. And I hope you guys have a lovely full moon. Be sure to manifest, babies. Be sure to release that need of wanting somebody, or you feel like you need to transform your life. Work on yourself. Work on your confidence. Work on your self-worth. Know that you are worthy of whatever you want, and you don't need anybody to make you feel this way. You can do this on your own. Okay? 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 All right, loves. I'll talk to you. Peace. What up, y'all? This is AstroDim here. Hey. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get my Bed and Astrology off the ground, I had so many questions. Like, how do I record an episode? How do I find background music? How do I get my show on popular podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find advertisers? Because, I want to get paid for all the hard work I do. Talking is a lot. It's a lot of energy, okay? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Yes. The cool thing about, Anchor FM, honestly, is that you can record anywhere at any time just by using your phone. You download the app. They have amazing engineering through the app where you can record and have, honestly, some decent ass recordings from just your phone. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm honestly shocked about how high quality my podcasts are because I was like, this is coming from my phone. Are you sure? But the cool thing about it is, like, everything is done on the app. You know what I mean? And so once I'm done recording, and once I finally make the established connections with the distributors, as soon as I'm done, it goes immediately to those distributors, so people such as my audience or new folks can listen. It's just so dope. You don't have to do that much but to create the episodes, create the work, and everything's done for you after that. It's absolutely amazing. It lets the artist truly be the artist. It lets the creative be truly the creative. And that's what I really, really like, So if you always wanted to start your podcast like me, because I always wanted to start my podcast, but I just didn't know where to go. And I did so much research, and I finally heard about Anchor, and it literally just fulfilled all my needs, So if you're like me, you want to start your podcast, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. And there's a lot of folks using it. There's amazing podcasts there. And I know your podcast would be amazing too. So go ahead and just join us. Join the kid. Join the cool team. You know what I mean? Again, that's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. And holla at me when you got that started, okay? All right, y'all. Peace.